I'm Nick May with Walls by Design. Today we're going to talk about what's the best way to choose a paint contractor in Denver. Let's talk about it. All right, so let's get down to brass tacks, right? There are a lot of options when it comes to hiring a paint contractor, but you might be a little bit worried. Are they going to do a good job? Are they going to give me a good price? And are they going to finish what they start? I think these are all concerns that people have whenever you're hiring really any contractor. So what I thought I would do is talk through how should you make decisions based on hiring a paint contractor. So number one, I would say hire somebody that you know something about their business. Now that can be you've used them in the past and they've done a good job, or they've worked for a friend or a neighbor and you are going to have them do very similar work. So I say similar work because I have heard customers say, wow, he did my bathroom, but when we had him do the exterior, man, it was a mess. It took him 4 weeks. Yeah, not apples to apples. So you want to make sure that if you're hiring, let's say a cabinet painter, they did your neighbor's cabinets and they look amazing and they've held up and they did a good job. Don't hire somebody that did the exterior and think just because they did a great job on the exterior that they'll do a great job on the interior. So that's number one. Number two is how long have they been in business? So there's a lot of painting companies that have been around a long time, but you wouldn't know it because they've changed their name several times over the years. We actually did change our name once. We started in 1999 under the name University Pro Painters. And that was because that was the company I ran when I was in college and I just needed a name. So within a year, I actually changed the name and we changed it to Walls by Design. And we've been working under the name Walls by Design ever since, 2000. So please know the history of the company. I remember a customer coming to me, actually it was a friend. A friend came to me and said, Nick, could you take a look at this exterior bid? At this point in my life, I was not doing exterior painting, but they knew that I knew something about exterior painting. And they showed me the bid and they said, do you think this is a good deal? And they had like a 10-year warranty on this paint job that they were offering. And I said, well, how long have they been in business? And she was kind of excited. She's like, oh my gosh, he's a brand new business owner. And he was working at Comcast and he got laid off. And so now he's painting houses. And I said, what do you think he's going to do when Comcast comes calling and is hiring again? He's probably going to go back to Comcast. So really need to know the history of the company. How long have they been in business? How many customers have they worked for? Do they have many Google reviews? I think that's like the gold standard these days. Like whenever I'm doing anything, I'm buying something on Amazon or I'm looking at a restaurant, I always look at the reviews. And in service-based businesses, the best place to go look to see what kind of experience customers have had with them is go to see their Google My Business page. I don't know if it's called that anymore, but the Google review page, right? So go look up how many Google reviews have they been? If they've been in business for 15 years and they have 15 Google reviews, something's wrong. I will just say that. Now, also, I would say don't just look at the number of Google reviews, but actually read the reviews. What are they saying about them? Are they just doing a cursory review because they keep getting asked? Or do they talk about different people in the company? When you look through our Google reviews, one of the things you'll notice is they talk about like all the different people that they have worked with on their project. They'll talk about Rachel, who helped them with the estimate. They'll talk about Jackie, who helped them with colors. They'll talk about our project manager. They'll talk about their painter or their painters, depending on how big the project is. And they just kind of go on and kind of gush. And it's pretty awesome. I'm a little biased, but I love reading those Google reviews. And so definitely go and look at those Google reviews. Now, the other thing, so those are kind of like homework that you can go and look at. You can also go to the Secretary of State's website and look up the companies. And you can see what year they started. You can see who actually owns the company. And if you can't find them on the Secretary of State's website, then that's a problem. The next thing you really need to make sure is, do they have workman's comp and liability insurance. And one of the things that I have found is that there's a lot of companies that subcontract out work, and that's not horrible. We do subcontracting work as well. Like, I can't install countertops, but we have a great guy that does our countertops. But one thing I just recently learned is that majority of the big painting companies, and I won't name any names, they don't actually require their subcontractors to have workman's comp. They only require them to have liability insurance. And that can cause a big problem. And that's how some companies get around really, competing on price, as they cut some of these corners that a lot of people don't even know to ask. And so you want to make sure that everybody that is coming onto your property is covered under the appropriate liability and workman's comp coverage. And the last thing that I will say is, what is it like to deal with them on the estimating process? Did they show up on time? Did they say they would get a bid to you the next day and then it took 4 days? That's the dating period. So really take a hard look. You should be the most critical at that point, because honestly, during the bid process, we're all on our best behavior. And if they're not able to do the things that you're asking for, or do the things that they're saying they're going to do in a timely manner and follow through, how do you think they're going to follow through when there's a problem on your project? And I'll be honest, our projects go pretty smooth, but we still have problems. But it's how we take care of those problems. How quickly do we take care of the problems? Do we own up to those problems? And so those are all things. And that comes down to systems and processes. And I've talked about systems and processes before on other videos. We have a lot of them. And that's because the more systems and processes I put into my business, the happier my customers are, the happier my people are, and the happier I am. So hopefully this helps as you're looking through and interviewing paint companies to come do your project. We would love the opportunity, and please reach out if you have something coming up. I'm Nick May with Walls by Design. We'll talk to you soon.